Hey, hello. We're here on this dreary Texas morning of cold and rain.
Disgusting.
I love it. I'd rather be at home watching movies.
I would just rather it be sunny and hot outside. So
Okay, I can handle sunny hot, but I love rainy days like this. These are like the best. Like I get the most stuff done on days like this. Honestly,
are you kidding me? This is like the days where I don't get anything done. It's just too dreary and it brings me down, and then all my sinuses are off the wall. It's just a whole thing.
welcome to this week's
But
Bridge
good morning.
Live. We got a little bit of a late start because she and I were talking about all sorts of other things ahead of time. But today we are wrapping up our Christian entertainment series,
Yes.
looking at movies. And I told her it's very fortuitous we're talking about this today because we're about to start advertising for 3. Where did my hand come from? I should realize I'm 3 Christian movies. And Jana Parks was talking about a kind of Christian movie yesterday, so it's really good that we're coming up on it. But first, let's do our bridge updates for the station. We have a brand new wall sign out the lobby.
Looks so good.
They came to put it up yesterday when she wasn't here, and so she walked in this morning. She goes, "Did I miss something? Is there a new sign?" I was like, "There's no new sign at all. You're crazy."
And I was like, "Am I going crazy?" And then I asked him later. I was like, when did you get it?" I was like, "Am I just blind? I just didn't see it yesterday." But no, it looks fantastic. It's the newer logo because it was an older logo.
Yeah, it was the old logo, but it was all black on a blue wall. It was really hard to see because it's a plexiglass thing, so there was all these shadows. So now it's big and bright and vivid, and it's like, yes, this is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. It looks so good.
And we're nearing our Schlitterbahn mass amounts of tickets giveaways.
We have lots of contests regarding Schlitterbahn for you guys. Got lots of fun stuff coming up. So
what's the first one? It's the name game for spring break, I believe.
Yes. I don't have my calendar in front of me.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think the first week is going to be
right.
spring break.
The first one's in March. So
I'm not here for because I'm at South by. So you guys will be
be.
giving away, and it's season passes, and you got to name what. And they took a bunch of clips of our shows that we have on the radio. You need to name who it is in the show.
Yeah.
So pay attention to that one. Should be lots of fun. And then
I'm excited.
every few weeks we'll give away more. They're all game based. It'll be lots of fun because I was really happy. We did a video of a winner from the Sing Your Valentine contest. She loved it. She loved singing, just not on camera, but she loved the idea of singing. That made me feel so much better because we ended up with one video and a whole bunch of phone calls.
Yeah.
That one was a stretch on our part. I didn't quite know what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us did.
I just thought it would be fun, but I guess people
have more shame than we
yeah.
do. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. People have more shame than we do. But yeah, so that went really well. So we're going to have lots of fun coming up with these new contests.
Yes.
So let's get into the bulk of today's topic. What's the maximum rating of a movie you'll go see?
What do you mean?
PG, 13
oh.
R. I won't go past R because those don't count.
Yeah. I've seen some R-rated movies, but none of them really interest me. So I guess PG-13 is probably my typical one.
Now,
which is funny because that's such a Y. It's PG-13 and then it's R.
Yeah,
which is there's no in between apparently, which there should be.
It's a couple cuss words and 2 explosions difference. And now, do you see mostly faith-based movies or are you more secular movies?
More secular movies, I think yeah.
See, here at the radio station, most of, I guess we're the anomalies. They really only stick with faith-based movies. And I find that really weird because I know that there's this rise in Christian filmmaking because they're getting much better at it.
Right.
But they're also stopping making these movies that beat you in the head with the Bible. It's like, Bible, it's a Bible, it's a Bible. It's so cliche. But then you get these movies like, God is Not Dead. And God's Not Dead Too, where they're not beating you with the Bible or telling you good stories that just have this good Christian undertone to them, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's helping this rise of these faith. And also they're starting to look a lot better. You used to get ones like, here's my video camera in my church basement.
And the acting was always really, no offense, but the acting wasn't that great. So you like really had to just accept it for what it was, and you could like see the value in the movie. But now I feel like you said, like they're getting better with it and whatnot, so they're more entertaining. They're like you really do want to watch and have more of a desire to do that too.
There's also now more comedy movies that may not be seen by the general public that the church going like. This is the end that deals with the rapture. Rapture-palooza that deals with the rapture. They're starting to make fun of things like that.
Love Rapture-palooza.
Rapture-palooza is hilarious, but This Is the End is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And it's all these celebrities in Hollywood. They're playing themselves. And the rapture happens. And most of them don't go because they're celebrities in Hollywood, so they're all huddling in like some dude's house, and they're all going crazy and stuff. It's hilarious. And I was also thinking about this on the way up here because I used to love reading like Christian fiction, like Ted Dekker books.
Yeah,
I love Ted Dekker.
My brother loved Ted Dekker.
Like the Circle trilogy, I think would make an amazing movie series that would really just kind of inspire people. He's made one out of 3. The House. I mean, they're really good stories. Some of them are frightening, some of them are good, some of them are sci-fi, but they're really getting that. They're letting you know God's not. Doesn't fit in a box.
Right.
And one of the first years I worked for The Word when we were across the street, we went to the San Antonio International Film Festival. And I was live down there with Michael Kahn, and we would broadcast back up here about what we were going on and do interviews. And that entire audience just watches faith-based films. And it was funny watching them. The older crowd liked more of the Bible-beating films, and the younger crowd liked more of the adventure films where it was kind of smooth.
Yeah.
So I find it really interesting the way the dynamics work out over time. But there's a whole sect of faith-based films you guys don't watch. And those are the R-rated films. And I will argue with this that they are not bad. They're R-rated because they deal with heavier themes like The Exorcist. And you're laughing.
That one, I just like, I can't. Not that I'm picky about movies. I don't watch a lot of R-rated movies because I just like know I like can't handle them. Like,
well, the R-rated ones deal with more of the hard subjects.
But like, I do agree that they do.
The Exorcist is really about the power of God and the power of the devil fighting. There's about the Catholic Church and how they operate, and it is a Christian film at the end of the day. The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 are dealing with the Warrens who work with the church to go out and help people who are having these problems. They're R-rated because they deal with heavier subjects.
And with the heavier subjects, they become more graphic in a sense, too, which is probably also why they're rated that.
And I find it weird that we want to sugarcoat that. Because the Bible, the Old Testament, is not PG-13.
Right.
That is an R-rated book.
There was plenty in there.
There was plenty of horrible things going on there. And you just like when we saw the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
I love that movie because it's such a realistic take of what really happened.
Yeah.
You can't sugarcoat this, y'all. The lady next to me was having a heart attack. Just let it stop. Just let it stop. And I looked at her and said, do you think it was not like this?
Yeah. I watched that movie and I was sick to my stomach. And I was like, I can only imagine... Like, I can't even imagine actually being there when the crucifixion happened, like, all this stuff. Because I was sitting there, we just watched one clip, like, during a Bible study. And I was sitting there, and I was just, like, it made it more real, I think, which I guess is, like, the point. Like, it just becomes more real for you to have such appreciation, like, on a whole other level for what, like, Christ did.
Yeah.
And it's just, like...
And, you know, you've got all these crucifixes on your wall, but you don't think about the bloodshed that went behind it, the violence that went behind it.
Right.
So maybe it's the real life Christian movies like that I think people miss out on.
Rated?
That was rated R.
Rated
did you not remember how much blood was in that film?
I try to tune out a lot of like the blood scenes because I'm like, I can't handle that. But
then,
that makes sense.
There's some R-rated films that are very experimental, like Mother, which I was completely surprised by. I did not know what I was watching till after it was done.
I know what that is.
So... There's a man and a woman that live in a house. The man has his private study, and no one's allowed to go in it because he's a writer. Well, he's got writer's block. Well, then this man that likes him and likes his past work shows up and then leaves and comes back with an injury and a wife. And the wife breaks into the study because she wants to know what's in there, and he kicks them both out. Well, they come back with 2 kids, and one kid kills the other kid. And then starts getting inspired, and people start showing up after he started writing, and they're kind of lewd, and there's a big flood, and they'll have to leave the house. See where I'm going here?
That's so crazy.
It's the story of the Bible.
That's so terrifying.
It's Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, the flood of Moses.
That's so wild.
And so the whole story is, by the end of it, is so crazy because, the woman has Jesus, the kid, and everyone worships him, then they kill him and eat him. Like the Catholic Church does.
Oh,
And then
crazy.
half the people are doing good things based on his teachings. The other half are doing these bad things and causing wars in the house. And everything's going to chaos, and he has to destroy it all.
Is this movie considered like a Christian film, or is it considered a film that kind of represents the Christianity?
No, it's not considered either.
Yeah.
But it's the story of the Bible, and most Christians did not go watch it. But
I've never even heard of it, so...
It's a really interesting movie that I felt dumb for not getting. I kind of suspected something when the flood happened because they broke the sink and the flood in the house and everyone had to run away. But at the end I was like, what was that?
That's so crazy.
But it's like, so I have some people that I know that are really heavy into Bible study watch it, and they got it from the get-go. But they had a hard time watching it because of the violence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think in Christian entertainment, you have your reality-based ones, you've got your sugar-coated ones, and you've got your Bible-beating ones. I think they could all work.
Yeah.
But I'm just happier that we're getting a much better quality.
Yeah.
I've gone on for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Can't say you're wrong.
So,
yeah.
What happened yesterday was Jana Parcel had a guest on because there's a documentary called The Bible Conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using history and written works to say that Jesus wasn't a Jew in Israel. He was like a Greek philanthropist in Greece. And there's documented things that he actually did when there's no documented things what Jesus did outside of the Bible. Yeah. So that was an interesting take. So I think that would be fun to go watch just to engage because you have to question everything. Yeah. Even if it's crazy and wrong, just to go partake in it so you learn. But we're going to be advertising for a documentary here about how it's believed Moses wrote the first chapters of the Bible. That it was all from him. And then there's 2 other films coming out that are more feature films that should be a lot of fun. So,
that's exciting.
Yeah, since I've worked for The Word, I've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The San Antonio International the Christian Film Festival was amazing. Just to go down there and see just the vast differences of, here's my VHS camera. You guys run around to, there was this really good, I think it was called The Key or something, a kids movie. Man, my allergies jacked up. Why'd you have to bring that up already?
Told you. The weather messes you up.
The one that always messes you up. But yeah, I would love to see Ted Dekker books turned into more movies.
That'd be good.
I think it would be amazing. So that's been our talk on Christian entertainment. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. Comment when you see it. Let's do our Dave report.
Okay.
So poor Dave. He gets stuck producing a lot of things. And we want to do some new spots for Max Life, our doctor show on Saturday. So G told him, just have a conversation, we'll edit together. Dave has to edit together, but he won't tell Dave, so I sent Dave this 15-minute file to make 30 seconds out of. So Dave he's really good at what he does. So that's this week's Dave report. We have one more show till I'm off for a week. First House Buy, so that's next week. My allergies just started going crazy.
Yeah. He was fine up until this point.
I was totally fine up until this point.
Well, in more ways than one.
Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about. What do you think we should talk about?
He always asks me this, and I am not that kind of creative of a person, and I'm like, I don't know. Just
I told her, I want you to talk more instead of just going, because I can literally talk forever.
Well, the thing is, he goes off, exactly, so I feel bad if I were to interrupt, and that's like something.
Interrupt me all the time. Just be like, I have something to say? We should talk about...
So my grandma does at Sunday lunch, because there's so many of us.
I don't know what we should talk about.
If y'all have any suggestions, bring them on.
Yeah, I created this whole mini-series. I'll probably create another one that we'll have fun with. I thought talking about board games was lots of fun. I got a new board game yesterday.
What game?
Risk Civil War.
Don't you already have like 15 risks?
Yeah, but this is the Marvel Civil War versus Captain America versus the other superheroes.
It's all the same to me, to be honest. The game's the same game. It just has different colors and pictures.
It was
like,
a gift from somebody yesterday.
Okay.
It arrived at my house. I was like, yes.
I'm going to get him a game of Risk, and it's just going to have my faces on the characters.
It's going to be the 11 version of Risk. Oh, no. I can
Or like
totally see
Candyland or
that.
something.
Oh,
my gosh, can you imagine?
No,
That would be a gift to everyone. You would, like, custom-made games.
I did make custom-made games one time.
Of course
I did my own
you did.
version of Life. It was called The Game of Real Life. And it was pretty messed up. Like, if there was an earthquake, you'd shake the board, and a tornado came through, you'd throw all the pieces in the air. And I did a version of Hungry Hippos I can't even talk about on video because Gene would get mad at me. I'll tell you about it afterwards. But
now I'm scared.
That's been this episode of The Bridge Live. Thank you guys for watching.
Are we doing more on Christian entertainment, or are we done with this series?
We're done with this one. We could totally revisit it at some point in time. I want to talk about, maybe we should talk about everyone's obsession with inspirational quotes.
It's because they're inspirational. They get you motivated. That's why.
They get you motivated.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, so true, and it just like refocuses your mind on like what's important. Especially if it's like a verse that we post or something.
Maybe
like,
maybe we'll also
so
talk
true.
about the importance of Bible study. That should be a good topic to talk about as well because I've got a few stories about that. I've got a lot of stories, y'all.
He's got way more stories than I do. I'm like, wow, my life is pretty boring or something.
No,
He's like,
you're just starting out your life. I've lived my life.
I don't know, my birthday is in a week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, and I literally had a panic moment where I was like, oh my gosh, in a few years, I'm going to be like halfway to 50, and that like really stresses me out.
Oh my God.
And I was
Anyways,
like, oh my gosh, my mom's going to kill me if I tell her this, though.
with that, we are done. We'll see you guys next week.